Echelon is an online magazine that publishes articles on gay and lesbian, bisexual and transgender finance, economics, education, and the evolving gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgender marketplace. Echelon offers tools for reaching this lucrative market. Grant Courtney is publisher and chief financial officer of Echelon Business Media. First of all, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Now tell us about your organisation and all the facets of it.
Well, in addition to the online portal that you mentioned, echelonmagazine.com, we also have a bi-monthly print publication, Echelon Magazine, that is circulated nationally and to a small degree internationally. And then in addition to that, we have gayfranchise.com, which is a directory of franchise opportunities that are marketed to the gay and lesbian community. It's basically mainstream franchise opportunities that are interested in working with openly gay and lesbian entrepreneurs.
In my intro, I mentioned the lucrative market. How lucrative is the market?
It's extremely lucrative. Today, it is estimated that there's $641 billion worth of buying power within the GLBT community, and that is estimated to grow by 2011 to $835 billion. It's a largely untapped market, and it is an extremely brand loyal market, meaning that if people within the GLBT community find out that companies and organizations are supporting their community, they will spend their money within those organizations.
So which professional areas then are the strongest in that market?
Well, right now, the automobile industry actually is kind of starting to lead the way. General Motors is taking that charge, and a lot of other companies have expressed a lot of interest in the GLBT market. And not only are these companies marketing their products and services to the GLBT community, they're also changing their corporate culture to include the GLBT community in their diversity policies for employment.
So how does GM market then to this market?
Well, GM has started to do some small marketing campaigns on Logo, which is the only gay non-subscriber-based cable network. And they've also been doing some print campaigns. They typically, what they do is within a major campaign that they're doing to the mainstream market, they will also shoot either a commercial or a print ad that also targets the GLBT community at the same time.
Okay, it's a very strong market, a market that is growing, as you mentioned. What are some of the challenges or some of the issues that present themselves for this market?
Probably the major issue that presents itself for this market is a lack of knowledge by a lot of the straight community about what's out there coming from the GLBT community. What I mean by that is that there are so many GLBT business owners and business professionals that are out there very hardworking, very responsible, very committed to their jobs, and they're not getting the recognition that they deserve because a lot of people don't even realize that they're out there.
Well, if I was to advertise, say, a hot sauce or a car or whatever, how do I market it different from the straight community? Is there a difference?
Oh, absolutely. There are actually several different ways, but it's changed a lot in the last couple of years. Maybe 5 to 10 years ago, people would use a lot of sexual advertising, really. Right. Not necessarily blatant sexual, but it was very people used a lot of print advertising, a lot of television commercials that had some sort of sexual innuendo. And that's no longer really the case. In fact, a lot of people that are in marketing try and steer clear of that because they don't want to offend the GLBT community by making us think that the mainstream straight community thinks that's what we're all about, because clearly it's not. So a lot of people will show ads with a same-sex couple doing just any normal thing.
I have a problem there because whether you're gay, Martian, straight, 10 arms, who cares?
People that say that, people like you that say that, that's wonderful. I mean, we wish that everyone said that, but there are major markets within the United States and the entire world that don't feel that way. Not because they're necessarily prejudiced against gays and lesbians, but because they don't readily see gays and lesbians in their everyday lives. They are only on television shows as a joke sometimes, and a lot of times they're portrayed in a negative light, as opposed to being just normal people out there in society. And so these people, and especially Middle America, and I hate to say it's Middle America, but people in smaller areas, less metropolitan areas, don't have the exposure to the gay and lesbian community, and so to them we are this outside group, as opposed to in places like here in Los Angeles or in New York, where the gay and lesbian community by and large is just part of the normal population.
Okay, what about opportunities for this market? You wanted to set up a business and you wanted to target this marketplace. What would you do? What sort of business would you do if you had a choice?
I mean, there are any number of ways to target the marketplace as far as the GLBT consumers. The first thing that I would do is I would market my company as a GLBT-friendly company, meaning I would provide ads that talk about how I employ GLBT members of the community.
You obviously talk about issues, or you talk about products that would relate to that particular lifestyle.
Right, exactly. And also, the GLBT community, by and large, is far more political than a lot of other communities. And I would make sure that, I mean, there are different bills before Congress all the time, and I would make sure that the GLBT community knows that my company supports that legislation and the passing of that legislation, because that's very important to many members of our community.
Let's talk about your websites.
Well, EchelonMagazine.com is the online version of our print publication, and we update that daily with press releases and different op-ed stories about things particularly business related, but sometimes if it's political with a business spin, we typically will run that as well. But we don't run a lot of different lifestyle things. We'll run information about different GLBT business owners and stuff like that, but not really a lifestyle publication. And then the magazine, obviously, is the print version of that. Goes into a little bit more special interest stories. We profile 6 GLBT, either entrepreneurs or business professionals, in each magazine with just a small bio and photo of that professional. And then we just talk about different issues that are going on within the GLBT community as it pertains to the workplace. And then gayfranchise.com, as I said before, is our other portal, and that is a directory of franchise opportunities for the gay and lesbian community. They're all mainstream companies. We have one that is a gay-owned company, and that's called AY Pages US. It's Alternative Yellow Pages US. That is the only gay-owned and operated master franchise that we represent at this time, and one of the few out there, actually. But we have anything from Planet Beach, which is a tanning company, to V2K, Window Decor, and more. And they're all just companies that are interested in working with openly gay and lesbian entrepreneurs, companies that recognize the good business professionals that come from our community.
Well, the tanning place actually appeals to me, because when I go to the beach, I blend in with the sand. I mean, nobody kicks sand in my face, they just don't see me. So maybe I'll go and visit this tanning place. Your foray into the franchise area, tell us about that. That's a pretty exciting move for you guys.
It's very exciting. Yeah, too. You know, the franchise industry is largely a conservative industry, and they're largely an industry that there have definitely been gay people within the industry, but it's been largely hidden in the past. Our participation in the West Coast Franchise Expo a couple of weeks ago was the first time that an openly gay company had been set up with a booth with, you know, the words gay right above us and people walking by, and our acceptance into that community was really quite encouraging. People were very happy to see us there. We got a lot of comments about how wonderful it was that, you know, we're doing what we're doing.
So the response is great?
The response has been very wonderful.
Where do you go from here? When yourself and Echelon, where do you actually move?
More than anything, we're just hoping to get our company's names out there and let people know that there's someone out there advocating for them in the workplace. And really, we just plan to build from where we are, and, you know, try. Basically, the whole point of our company is to get people to be out in the workplace. Not for any reason, but that we need to put a positive face on the GLBT community, and the best place to do that is in the workplace.
Besides the obvious ones, websites, which is the main website?
The main website is echelonmagazine.com, and then we also have gayfranchise.com.
And if they wanted to, say, just call, what number do they have?
It's area code 323-230-5548.
Fantastic. And in a word, how would you describe business in Los Angeles at the moment?
Growth.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.